We got Frank Camacho back here on the program. He's going to be taking on Geoff Neal coming up here at UFC 228 on September 8th. Frank, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Dude, man, feeling good, feeling great. Man, glad to be on the show again.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk to you. And of course, you haven't fought since January, and I know you've been dealing with some injuries. What was the injury that has been keeping you out for a while, and how long was the recovery time on that?
Man, I rolled my ankle. Luckily, nothing broke. I was supposed to fight in UFC in Singapore. I was so bummed, man, because I wanted to be on that card. Great fights, and man, Singapore's awesome, dude. Man, I love the fans there, and it's not too far from home, you know. But yeah, man, I rolled my ankle real bad, and man, I was out for maybe four weeks till I was actually able to like get running again, you know. So super bummed about that. But took a well needed break, man. Last year, I was actually just talking to my wife. Last year, I fought 4 times in 8 months, you know. So yeah, so this long, well needed break was so when my ankle healed, I called up Jason House, my manager. I was like, man, do you think we can get a fight? And then we got the call to fight Geoff Neal September.
Yeah, and it's a great matchup, and obviously a welterweight fight as well. I know you had talked about potentially going back down to 155. Was this your choice to stay at welterweight, or were you looking to get back down to to lightweight, I should say?
Yeah, it was kind of my choice. Man, at 170. Dude, it's just so much way more enjoyable. Really enjoyed the moment, and I felt like I performed better, and it's just so much easier on the body, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Let's talk about your last fight. I know things didn't go your way in that one against Drew Dober, but what do you take away from that performance? You know, it was a really entertaining fight, which is sort of the norm with a lot of your matchups.
Um, so Jude over. I planned for one thing, and then so the plan was just to kind of like man pick him apart from the outside. He was a little shorter than me. Eventually take him down and try to submit him, man. But I took him down a couple times, man. But his defense was just really good, and I was rushing a little bit too on top. You know, I was like, oh man, I got him down, and I was jumping to different positions. Learned a lot during that fight, though, man, James. Like yeah, I felt it was a super close fight. I felt like it could have gone either way. A lot of the fans thought, a lot of different, thought that I won, but man, at the end of the day, it's a fight, and that's what we show up to do. It's a fight, and the judges are to judge, you know. So it was a great fight, man. But there's a lot of things that I'm taking from that fight and my previous fights into this next one against Geoff Neal.
Absolutely, and let's talk about Geoff Neal, 9-2 record. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
So when I got the call, I remember seeing an article about Geoff Neal about how he there's a huge article, I think, where he used his per diem money to pay for rent, you know, and that really stood out. I was like, wow, dude. So this guy's, he's on the grind. He's hungry, and he's gonna make a statement. And when I got the call, I was like, Sean Shelby, you know what you're doing, pal. You definitely know what you're doing. Yeah, I know what you guys are trying to set this up for. You know, he's the thing with Geoff Neal though. He's very fundamentally sound, and and this is me just looking from a fan standpoint. You know, he throws clean punches. He throws them straight. He keeps his hands up. He doesn't make too much mistakes. You know, and then you get a guy like me who, well, I would like to say that I'm very technical, but man, sometimes it turns into slugfest. Yeah, man, I just can't wait to implement everything that I've been working on the past 3 fights in the UFC.
And how's training camp going, and who have been some of the people you've been working with for this matchup?
So I've been working with just man the same guys. I'm doing my camp here in Guam. Rocky Martinez, he fights in Risen. He's actually a heavy. He's like he's my height, but he's a heavyweight. So man, I get used to that pressure. And then since Geoff Neal's a lefty, I have a bunch of lefties that I've been working with, and Kyle Uggan, he fights in Japan and in Pancrase and just in this region, you know. So uh, yeah, just just to mimic, and then just what I did wrong against Drew Dober was I was really like looking forward. I was really training for a stand-up fight, you know, because him being a kickboxer and knocking people out, and but we wrestled a little more than I thought, and I kind of gassed in the second round. I came back in the third, but yeah. So for this fight, just being prepared everywhere, you know. You look at Geoff Neal; he's he used to fight at middleweight, so he's not your typical welterweight. You know, he's gonna be on the bigger side. You know, he's 2 inches taller than me, but yeah, it's just gotta be prepared for everything, and that's the theme of this fight camp.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that. Do you bring in anyone to kind of mimic the fact that he's a little bit bigger than you, or do you just stick with the usual guys as far as training camp goes?
Stick with the usual guys, and actually, man, I'm really blessed that my training partners kind of like try to mimic him. You know, they watch his fights and they try to throw straight punches, and also too this fight camp, I'm really working a lot with lefties and drilling with lefties. Even though, like my last fight with Dober, he was a lefty, but man, I was predominantly sparring guys that were right-handed. You know, although man, I've been training with lefties all my life. I just gotta, slip the left hand, return, or watch that left kick. You know, it's and then circle to the left side. You know, but it's like this time, and it's very very specific training.
How's the weight cut going?
Dude, it's good. It's good. It's very good. I had some brown rice and some chicken and some veggies. You know, so I'm not killing myself to get to the scale. Dude, we want to weigh in tomorrow. Let's weigh in tomorrow. I can make it. Yeah, I'm not even that far, like it's still a cut, but it's not like the 32, 28 pound cut, to 155.
No, for sure. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
So in my corner is gonna be one of my friends and pad holder. His name is Juan Hot Pocket. Yeah, he fights in the local circuit here. We've been working on a lot of things, and then Melker Manabusin is gonna be in my corner too. For my last fight, my head coach.
How do you see this fight playing out on September 8th?
Me with the win. My last fight, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I have I always have this orchestrated view of a fight, and I'm gonna take him down. I'm gonna get this position. I'm gonna punch him. He's gonna put his hand here, and I'm gonna get the submission. But man, fights are fights, and they become so chaotic, But I definitely see him the plan is just to outwork him and be first in all my positions and come out with the win, because I'm 1-2 right now in the UFC, and I need this win. I'm fighting Geoff Neal in his hometown. I see with the finish. I see myself finishing him, and I see myself with the win.
Pro wrestling, is that something you'd ever consider after your career's over? You're a pretty personable guy. You kind of got the whole cranked effect thing. Is that something you'd ever consider after your career's wrapping up?
Dude, why not, man? But the only thing is, man, I see how hard, man, they're like in every city every week, and the amount of beatings they take. But dude, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I could do it. Why? Do you recommend it? What do you think?
I see a lot of fighters going that route. We had Ronda Rousey go over to pro wrestling. We've seen Matt Riddle go over to pro wrestling as well. There's been a lot of guys or fighters, I should say, who've found success over there. I'm just, I figured for a lot of fighters it might be an appealing option just because you have the brand and have the personality of fighting in the UFC.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, totally.
Did you watch it growing up? Did you have any favorite wrestlers?
Oh yeah, man, The Rock, dude. Oh, The Rock. Yeah, man, The Rock was my favorite wrestler, man. But then again, I never got to see it. I think it was like a pay-per-view, and where I was in Saipan, and I think at the time we would get all our stuff a week late, all the time, So it kind of sucked, and the internet wasn't really accessible then. But man, when it was The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin,
This is going to be an awesome card. It's coming up here September 8th. It's UFC 228. Frank, always good talking to you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. So man, thank you everyone for tuning in. And you can find me at Frank the Crank on Instagram, Crank Effect on Twitter. Yeah, just search me. You'll be able to find. Man, hit me up anytime. Man, I try to reply to everyone that hits me up, and just super, super excited.